Internet, hello and welcome to Koi Cubed. We are back after a bit of a hiatus. Unfortunately, I had a whole bunch of phone chaos and life chaos, and frankly, it was quite the journey getting back to this stream. I'm currently on a loaner phone, and I'll be getting another of my old type of phone back for a week, and then in a couple weeks getting the new iPhone 13, which I'd been saving up for. So as you guys might know, I use my phone for streaming, and my last phone went for a swim, and that caused basically 2 weeks of missing this stream. I'm finally back, which means I'm back here, I'm back on Instagram, I'm back on TikTok. It has been absolutely insane. And ironically, this all happened just as we have a surge of new Koi Pond members. We have about 2,000 new members of this channel. In the last 2 weeks, we've gained about 2,000 members of this channel, as I've been doing a lot more guest spots on other channels and teaming up with a lot of my friends who have YouTube channels. So I'm trying to grow this channel into its own thing big enough, so instead of working with networks, which is what I traditionally do, I want to try to be basically me on red carpets and go to premieres and events and things. So I'm going to be upgrading this channel as much as possible in the coming weeks. I'm going to be trying to do more edited content. I'm going to be trying to do more consistent content. Today alone, we're going to be doing this stream right here, which is going to be a news brief, followed immediately at 7 o'clock by a Thor Ragnarok live watch-along brought to you by patron saint of watch-alongs, Mr. Michael McCarsell. So lots of stuff on this channel in the coming weeks, and it's going to be really, really exciting, and I'm very, very honored to be with you all, this giant new wave of Koi Pond members. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for joining in. Without further ado, today we're going to be talking about those Matrix Resurrections teasers. We're going to be talking about, plural, we're going to be talking about the Shang-Chi box office, which is absolutely bananas. We're going to be talking about all sorts of Venom 2 goodness, and we're going to be talking about Fandom and more. So a lot of good stuff coming at you today, as well as our usual dose of Schmodown and Curls content. This is, of course, Koi Cubed, which means we talk about comic cinema and curls. New members of the channel, I think it's really funny, the English language, those C's, one's K. It's funny to me. It's an English language joke. So let's dive in first to the Matrix Resurrection teaser news. If you go to whatisthematrix.com, you get to select either the red pill or the blue pill, and then depending on what time, down to the minute, you watch the footage, you'll be treated to different moments from the upcoming film that's released on 1/2/22/21 on December 22nd, 2021, which is a beautiful palindrome, 1/2/22/21. We are getting a new Matrix film. We haven't known very much about what was going on in this movie. We didn't know the title until last month, and now we have a teaser right now. And on Thursday, we're going to be having a brand new trailer. Now, I will be doing a bright and early 6 a.m. trailer reaction with the Real Rejects. I'm going to be trying to team up with those guys as much as possible. I've gotten a lot of great feedback from you guys about me teaming up with those guys. So these big movies that I'm invested in, I want to team up with my boys that do such great trailer reactions. So Matrix Resurrections, expect me bright and early at 6 a.m. teaming up with those guys. I'm very excited about it. Now, in the meantime, we do have 180,000, you heard me, 180,000 clips that are spread throughout the 24-hour, 60-minute per hour day. Depending on what minute you click on either the red or blue pill, you're treated to a different barrage of footage. So that's an insane way and a very Matrix way to dish out content. I love this marketing already. I love that we haven't seen a full trailer and this movie's out in 3 months. I love that we're experiencing it like the Matrix, getting out little tiny parcels of information by way of the internet. What is the Matrix indeed? And all the footage we've heard about through CinemaCon sounds absolutely amazing. So if you're a Matrix fan, do yourself a favor, try whatisthematrix.com. Click on one of those and experience some Yahya Abdul-Mateen II voice-over-tastic footage that's going to change literally every minute you click on it. It is glorious. I've done it like 12 times today. I've gotten lots of new footage each time. It is stunning. It's not on YouTube. It's not on TikTok. It is only on this one website, which again is a really unique way to market a film, which has me very, very invested. I would say in the rest of time, the movies that have been announced for the rest of time, The Batman is my number one. Matrix is tied for second with Top Gun 2. I am so excited. I cannot wait to get these movies. I cannot wait to experience this transition in cinema. Very excited to be diving into all this goodness. So we will see how this all goes. Do check out this footage. I could not be more ready, could not be more amped. That's all I really have to say on it until Thursday. Thursday, once again, video reaction with The Real Rejects, and then check my TikTok for my breakdown. I'm going to be trying to use TikTok more. Again, I'm trying to grow my own channels instead of relying on other networks. I've got some ideas of things I want to be doing. Let's get this page to 2,000. I'm only 1,700 followers away from 10,000. I said 2, I meant 10. I'm only 1,700 away from 10,000. We're at 8,300 thanks to all these new Koi Pond members, which is amazing. And my Instagram is fucking 50 away or 60 away from 10,000 for those swipe up powers. So a lot of new folks in the Koi Pond. I really do appreciate it. All right, moving on from The Matrix into the reason I think we got all this Matrix barrage. I think they've been worried about releasing it this December. I think a movie that came out last week really helped both Venom and The Matrix get a little boost of confidence to come out this fall and winter. Shang-Chi broke every possible Labor Day record. It broke the weekend record. It broke Labor Day itself record. It broke it by so goddamn much. The previous Labor Day record was set by Rob Zombie's Halloween with 30.6 million. 30.6 was the prior record for a Labor Day. Shang-Chi, in 4 days, made 94.6. That is 64 million more than number 2. That is substantial. That is literally 3 times the amount of money. A staggering figure. Now, I have been very vocal on Twitter, if you guys follow me on social media, with the bullshit that is a lot of the internet. We are living in a fucking global pandemic, and we are dealing with a lot of racist fucking assholes on the daily, and we're dealing with a lot of very, very angry nerds that are basically looking to disparage things that don't look like them, don't act like them, that might not feel familiar to them, to such a level that it's causing lies and slander and people to believe shit that it patently isn't fucking true. A great example of this is people, for whatever reason, saying, oh, we shouldn't include this 650,000 death domestically pandemic in our numbers that is ravaging the globe. We shouldn't include the fact that a number of people in every community aren't able to make it to their theater. We shouldn't include the fact that people that are even able-bodied don't feel comfortable sitting in a movie theater. We shouldn't include the fact that the Delta variant is fucking ravaging our country and dozens of other countries. We shouldn't include any of these fucking facts. We should just say, hey, a Marvel movie isn't doing as well as other Marvel movies. This is an origin movie. This is a brand new character. This is not tied directly to the movies we've known so far before. And this is a movie coming out in a time of very difficult fucking adversity for a species that is human beings. And it did 3 times the number 2 Labor Day record. Fuck you to each and every person that decided they should fucking ride some pedestal of this not doing well. Fuck you to each and every person that made this a thing of it's woke because it doesn't have white people as the leads, it's got too many women in it. Fuck you if you think it's okay to make that your platform. You're embarrassing nerds, you're embarrassing comic book fans, you're embarrassing moviegoers, you're embarrassing people, you're embarrassing humanity. Fuck you. So I just want to say, each and every person that is on my platform, that is a supporter of me as an individual, I hope you see how important it is to not click on those fucks, to not support that kind of bullshit, to not spread misinformation like that. It almost cost us our very democracy very recently, and it can cost us so much fucking more if we keep letting that profit. Hundreds of thousands of views towards lies and bullshit are unacceptable. $90 million during this. Triple the number 2 record. And best of all, the movie's fucking great. Best of all, the movie's incredible. Best of all, it is a worthy continuation of not just the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but a franchise liftoff, the likes of which we haven't had since Phase 1. It's my favorite origin solo film since Phase 1 personally. It's my number 10 of all the Marvel properties in the MCU. I don't yet have a ranking of like Blade and the MCU, or like Spider-Man, X-Men, Blade in the MCU, like just the MCU, the 28 MCU properties, 25 films, 3 shows. It's my number 10. It's exceptional. It is a wonderful family drama wrapped in a martial arts epic that happens to be in the MCU. It is an introduction to a bunch of actors I didn't know that I'm so happy to have. It is a genius bit of filmmaking in that this movie is one of the lower budget Marvel films, and it's going to make its money back and then some during a global pandemic. Simu is a movie star. He's a goddamn superhero. Awkwafina is a powerhouse and she's hilarious. Tony Leung is one of the best villains in the MCU, which is saying something in a post-Thanos Killmonger world. An absolute incredible film, worthy of $90+ million in 4 days, triple the number 2 Labor Day weekend. I'm so proud to have been a part of the premiere. I'm so honored to be involved with talking about it before it was out. I'm so honored to be part of marketing it before the world had seen it, because I loved it from the bottom of my heart, and it was one of the best theatrical experiences I've ever had. Seeing it with that ravenous of fan base, seeing it with the cast, seeing it with the crew, seeing it with the filmmakers, life-altering. It's one of the best theatrical experiences I've ever had, and it truly is worthy of breaking all the records it has. So, off of my soapbox, fuck those people. I honestly, if you guys are in this chat, if you're in this channel, if you're part of the Koi-Pon, if you're part of my YouTube, I know you're better than that, and I appreciate you guys being a source of good. You guys are heroes, not villains, and I appreciate the fuck out of you. It did incredibly well, and if you haven't seen it yet, I've spoiled nothing. I've been very careful in this conversation to not spoil. I haven't even posted a spoiler review yet because I want to make sure more people get time to see it, and I used to do like spoiler-free on the day or on the weekend, and then spoiler the next week. But with there being a pandemic, I want to give people time to see it, so I probably won't do a spoiler-full conversation for another week, even if that costs me views, because views are less important than people's enjoyment of shit, and I wish more people saw the internet that way. That being said, I would love to build this channel with more following, so if you like this video and you like my shit, please do share it so I can get more, so I can do more stuff like I like to do without spoiling shit or being a fucking asshole. I am going to check on the chat because I just said a lot of fairly angry shit that I hope was received well, and I love each and every one of you for being here. Sorry if my tone is a bit abrasive. It's been a long day on the internet, but it's not directed at you. It's directed at stupid fucks. All right, looks like my mom's in the chat, which is always good. What up, Mom? All right, let's check on the chat. And we're live. Michael McCarsel's in the chat. He is responsible for the 7 o'clock Thor Ragnarok watch-along. We're going to watch all of Thor Ragnarok with a full commentary talking all about that glorious film at 7 o'clock today. Very excited for you guys to join me. And again, it's great to be back, and it's great to have this channel grow so very much. Ephron Guzman, Koi the Man, hope all's well with you. How's the tooth? Many blessings. Thank you. Welcome, Ephron. Always good to see you, man. The one tooth is good. I'm going to the dentist for the second tooth tomorrow. Unfortunately, it wasn't just one tooth like I had hoped. It is, in fact, a total of 4 teeth, 2 very bad, 2 not so bad. The one worst one we've taken care of, that was a $3,500 fucking bit of craziness. The second to worst tooth is going to be $1,400, so I will be spending a shocking $4,900 on 2 teeth. Tomorrow's the $1,400 one, and I am very shell-shocked at my credit card. Flexing. Not thrilled about it, but the pain is better, and I don't have, like, septic blood poisoning anymore, so I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you for asking. I appreciate the fuck out of you. We got Ephron Guzman also asking, what does my workout regimen consist of? Curious. We also got a super chat from Dan V900. I'll be reading that in just a moment. Thank you very much, Dan V. My workout regimen right now has been garbage because it is my birthday month. My birthday is a week from tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 8th. My birthday is the 15th. So next week's Koi Cubed is going to be birthday-tastic. I am a shameless narcissist, talking all about my birthday next week. So this month's been a little light, but I typically do supersets of bi-tri, chest back, forearm, shoulder. I try to hit each of those every week, so 3 supersets, and then I try to get 3 bits of cardio in. I try to do 10% more weight or 10% faster cardio every single week. So quite a bit of stuff that I personally do, but this month has been slacking. We'll talk more about that, curls, at the end of the show. But I appreciate you asking. I appreciate you caring. We also got, let's see who else in the chat. Wesley. I had a great lunch with Wesley the other day. That guy is fantastic. We got Sydney Abramson saying howdy. Travis Earl. Let's see. Will the Thrill, the Real Rejects are cool. First time seeing them when you were on there. I am so honored to bring people to the Real Rejects. Their channel is incredible. That makes me so happy that I brought people to them. I'm honored. Subscribe to them now. Hell yeah. Black Loki 3004. I love how excited Coy is about movies and life. You're goddamn right. We got to find the beauty in life because we only get one of them. Calm Down Rich says, best movie website promotion since Snakes on a Plane. I don't disagree. I think Cloverfield, Snakes on a Plane, and this are all exceptional. And during the pandemic, no less, you're goddamn right. You love to see it, Shang-Chi hype. Angry Nerds, I find that hard to believe. Yes, Coy, preach. Insert fire Elmo gif. Thank you for that. It was Coy. Hey, Coy, longtime fan here. Greetings from Indonesia. Bernadus Andrew, Indonesia. That is fucking awesome. I'm honored to reach. I love what the internet is. I love how far our voices can travel. I love how much it connects us. It's not all shit and people being assholes on YouTube. There's a lot of good there, and thank you for saying hi from Indonesia. Honored, flattered. I appreciate you. 90 million would be good in normal times. You're goddamn right. The box office conversation is just so fucked at this point. The fact that even smart analysts are looking at it so backwards really frustrates me, and I'm just over here yelling into the void with Dan Murrell because I'm just so fucking pissed off. On Shang-Chi's box office, it kept breaking predictions each day over the weekend. That means it already has legs. You're goddamn right. It's tracking very well. It's going to make all its money back and then some in a global pandemic because it's that good of a movie. I just 150 million worldwide gross. Movies, it only needs to make like 250. It's got to make its marketing back, plus its very meager budget. It's crushing it. Very, very beautifully done. Don't forget embarrassing themselves. I'm not sure they have shame, but I appreciate the optimism there, Travis. The movie already made back almost half its budget. Anyone who thinks it's a flop is just flat out wrong. Correct. Real Great Shades, goddamn right you do. What up, my brothers in YouTube arms? I gotta say, the more I become... It was Greg's birthday the other day. Greg Alba's birthday was very recently, and the more I know Greg, the more I'm honored to know Greg. If you guys don't follow The Real Rejects, you should. Greg and John are powerhouses of humans. John is a delight. Greg is becoming one of my favorite people. Not to disrespect John, I'm just saying. I know Greg a little better for now. John, let's hang out. But I got a lot of love for The Real Rejects. So if you guys found them through me, honored, and you should follow them because they're two of the best people I know. Hard stop, period. No ellipses, no asterisks. Just two of the best. Hello, Marshall Nesbitt. Good to see so many OGs in here. Real Rejects in the chat. I'm honored, truly. Same, 'twas a lovely lunch. That it was. What's up, Real Rejects? Coy, you should brush your shoulders off after that badass speech. That's for the fucking box office assholes. And that's for the racists. And that's for half of fucking nerddom being a bunch of cunts. And we, here at the Koi Pond, represents the other side of nerddom. Positivity, fucking inclusiveness, no gatekeeping. I am happy to teach you guys whatever you want to know about comics. There is not a single gate in this fucking kingdom. I want people to read all of this. I want you to know who Alex Maleev is. I want you to know the fucking powerhouse team that invented Spider-Gwen. Also, I want you to watch The Departed. But I want you to do it with love, and I want you to know Joelle Jones. I want you to spread fucking nerd positivity, and that's what this channel's for. So if you're new here, we don't take shit. I've only got 2 moderators in the entire fucking Koi Pond because that's all I've ever needed. We don't have trolls. We don't have assholes. It's a place of positivity and goodness, and that's what we thrive on here. Let's see. My mom, it's my birthday month too. My mom's birthday is, by the way, the 27th. Wish her a happy birthday at the end of the month. I'll remind you, my mom is an angel. She is always in here. It is her birthday month as well on the 27th. Just bought myself the Twilight Saga extended version. Now I have it on DVD, Blu-ray, and Twilight Forever. My mom is obsessed with Twilight. She is fantastic and loves those. She's the twihardiest, and, I respect it. Always good to see you, Coy. Thank you, EP. Sydney Abramson yelling into the void with Dan Murrell as your next channel, right? It'd be a good name, wouldn't it? We'll likely need 30 to 450 million to turn a profit. I think it's only going to need like 350 because it only costs like 175. And then if you double that for marketing, that's 350. I think it's going to make that within another week worldwide. I think once the China release gets figured out, personally, I think it'll be okay. But I'm not a box office analyst. I could be totally wrong. Dan V900, the guy with the arms from the No Way Home trailer, was proven to not be Matt Murdock since the stretched IMAX screen showed his face, which doesn't mean he's not in the movie. All of that's true. I just always thought it was funny that this dude with a slight belly, everybody's like, that's Charlie Cox. And they were like looking at his forearm hair. And like, I thought maybe... But it was very funny that we went that hard as nerds. We wanted it to be Charlie Cox so bad. And I I'm entertained. I love when people are passionate, as long as they're not assholes. It made me very happy. Yes, Why the Last Man is next Monday, the 13th, September 13th, Why the Last Man. You know we'll be covering that right here on this channel. It might have to be like a 1-2 punch on Wednesdays with What If and Why the Last Man, making that happen, because I am obsessed with that comic, and I'm very excited to cover it over on FX. Here's how badly people misunderstand the box office, whether it's pandemic or not. Ant-Man made 103 profit-wise compared to Man of Steel making 42 and Shazam made 74. Yeah, people don't get math, fundamentally. I'm broke, but I wanted to wish you a good day. Joseph Ashley, I appreciate the fuck out of that. Just popped in and already hyped with positivity. That's how we do, H.A. It's why Hardiest. Oh my, I never knew Coy was such a cursor, and from his mom too. Yeah, I learned it from my mom. I'm a kid from Boston, and I don't take any shit. And I think language should be whatever you feel expresses you the best. So I personally feel like if I'm muting myself and if I'm changing my language for others, I'm not being authentic, and I'm authentically a guy that says fuck. So that is what my channel is. Even with my ma. Just Floating Through says, the movie meant a lot to me as an Asian American, and Tony Leung looks similar to my dad, so that was an immediate emotional connection for me. I didn't realize there was a woke complaint. Yeah, it's a dark corner of the internet, but we ignore them for the most part, except when they get loud enough that I feel like we have to punch them back into place. I'm not of the ilk that we ignore racists, Nazis, assholes, douchebags. It's gotten us in a really problematic place as a country. It's gotten us in a really problematic place as a culture, both in the global, the American, and the nerd sense. I don't think it's acceptable to ignore atrocities, because that's how we fail. Because the left not having teeth, the right are gonna fucking bite off shit and chew shit just to prove a point. They're fucking they're that kind of ilk. So I think the more we're silent, the more they have control and power, and I think that's affecting our Congress, our Senate, our fucking presidency. So if I can only control what I can control, and as a nerd, I won't let the nerd space get overwhelmed by those assholes as much as I can. So it is out there, usually ignored, but we can't always ignore it because it's problematic. Let's see. My grandfather's birthday is the 13th, which is the day Why the Last Man does come out. People have no idea what production budget, marketing budgets matter so much. Yeah, that's totally a thing. Will the Thrill, Why the Last Man? Yes, please. One of my favorite graphic novels ever. Very excited. More Wong Tar isn't here, says. Well, Sad Man Silver says. Spider-Man No Way Home, a rewind for Spider-Man to continue on his own as a character without help from Iron Man and other Avengers. I think it might be a situation where Spider-Man lands in a different universe and he has no way home, and that's a universe that Avengers. I think that is a way to make him more of a contained character. Whether or not that happens, we will see, but I do think it's a possibility. My mom says, fuck yeah, we curse in this family, we have language, why not use it for power? Will the Thrill, it's so good and topical considering what we're going through with the pandemic. You're goddamn right. Ilk is a good word, Black Loki. If you run for office, let me know, Coy, I'll join your campaign. I appreciate that. And I'm finally caught up with Michael McCarsell saying one of my friends consistently makes an argument against Man of Steel by trying to call it a flop. It made $668 million. Some people just want to make up reasons for why they dislike something, and their reasons usually suck. So I agree with you. Now, I have a Streamlab from Dan V900 who says, that group that shall not be named are grifters. They want to upset since it gets clicks, prefer not to enjoy things and can't be taken seriously. That is a real problem. Consistently, and it is a way to get clicks. That's why I've been tweeting so fervently about it. Don't give these people that click is your time, and that's worth even more than money. They're monetizing your time. If a website is free, what it's making money off of is your time. If something's free, the cost is you. So make sure you're not giving someone you. If you see something you don't agree with, don't engage with it, because you're giving them you. Not only do they profit off it, it changes you, and you don't want that. Nothing's worth that. Fuck those people. All right, back to the news. After that little rant, I didn't mean to go on for quite so long. Also, if you haven't seen Shang-Chi yet, check out All Hail the King, which is now available on Disney+. I highly recommend it, and it does tie in beautifully to Shang-Chi, and it's free if you got Disney+. Very, very important. And now let's talk about another ramification of Shang-Chi kicking so much ass in the box office, martial arts pun intended. Venom was rumored to be moving. Hilariously, every website reported on it, and then within a few hours, we're like, no. I almost reported on it because enough websites I trusted said it, and luckily, I did not report on it. That being said, it did move. It just moved in a fun direction. Instead of moving deeper into the year or into 2022, which is what a lot of people were expecting, Venom 2 is now coming out October 1st. It has moved up 2 weeks, we now have an October 1st Venom Let There Be Carnage, and I can very happily say, your boy's gonna be covering it. So keep your eyes peeled over at Nerdist for some coverage from this guy. I'm very excited. I'm not going to say what exactly that is yet until I've actually finished the coverage, just because I'm superstitious about it. I'm overjoyed. This is literally one of those my entire life has led to this moments. I grew up reading Todd McFarlane. I literally learned to read with Todd McFarlane. Venom was one of my favorite characters of all time. Venom shaped who I am as a person. Venom is one of the first characters I comprehended as a villain. I love Venom. I'm so overjoyed to be covering this. I covered Venom 1 through Collider, and I did a lot of coverage for the Blu-ray. I'm fucking stoked to be covering Venom 2 for Nerdist. So keep your eyes peeled. When I can talk about it more, I will let you know. But Venom Let There Be Carnage is available October 1st. As soon as the embargo is up, I haven't seen it yet, but I'll be seeing it soon. I'm going to let you guys know exactly what I think of it. You expect a fucking social media barrage. Dead serious. Follow my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I'll be doing a bunch of stuff over on TikTok covering Venom 2. I'm so fucking excited for it. So keep your eyes peeled, but that is out on October 1st, and it is officially PG-13. So I know that's going to disappoint a lot of people, but the first one made almost $1 billion by being PG-13. It makes sense. I get why it's PG-13. I'm very curious about what that means for Carnage. Carnage is a character that is called Carnage. It is a serial killer made of chaos. It is a lot of things that are generally R-rated. Avi Arad came out and said some weird quotes about, like, Carnage is a sympathetic character, and I'm like, I don't think so. We will see how that translates. Me, personally, loved the first Venom. It is one of my favorite, what the fuck, let's do something totally different experiments in comic book film. I love that the MCU feels like it does. I also love that the DC universe feels like it does. I also really need things like the Sony universe to make weird villain of the month choices. I need things like fucking Venom getting in the lobster tank. I need things like him having this amazing domestic abuse relationship with a symbiote. I need things like the strangeness of Eddie Brock existing in the Sony universe. So it's to me a good thing to be PG-13 and at Sony. I would love, of course, Spider-Man and Venom to have a thing. I think they will. I get why it's taking time. I get what's happening with what Spider-Man is in the MCU. I do think No Way Home is going to change the status quo quite a bit, and I do think Venom and Morbius lead to that. So I'm seeing it soon. I will talk about it as soon as I fucking can. It is out October 1st. I am so excited. We finally saw Shriek in some publicity stills. We hadn't seen a lot of Shriek leading up to this. I think it's going to be a very interesting dynamic between Carnage and Shriek. They're lovers in the comic books. I imagine they're going to be lovers in the movie. I think there's going to be this great relationship between the two of them, and like maybe Venom's pursuing them. Fucking stoked. It is out very, very soon. I'm seeing it so soon. And let there be carnage indeed. Fuck yeah. All right, I got another super chat in here. I think every 2 stories I'm going to check on the regular chat. But Jesus Gastelum says, Coy, how goes it? What if has been so good. I have enjoyed it. I'm going to see Shang-Chi this Friday. Hell yes. That's another thing. A lot of people are seeing Shang-Chi when they get a chance. I think this movie's going to have legs, like someone mentioned in the chat earlier. This movie's going to do well week to week. It's got a little less competition this weekend than I think a lot of week 2s in the summer would have. I think it's going to keep holding its numbers very well. It's also word of mouth tracking very well. It's also something worth rewatching. I saw it 2 weeks ago. I already can't wait to see it again. I'm really busy this week because of Venom. As soon as I can see Shang-Chi again, I'm there. So I think it's going to do very well. I'm stoked you're seeing it this weekend, man. It's going to be a great time. Let me know what you think of it. And life's good, man. Like I said, I got about 2,000 new subscribers in the Koi Pond YouTube channel. I'm very close to 10K on Instagram, which just like, I need the swipe up. I don't even care about the number. I just want to be able to fucking swipe up my stories so I can link people here, etc., etc. But very, very stoked. And yes, as Dan V900 says, or was it my mom? Someone said in the chat, 2 post-credit scenes, say through all the credits mid and post. Very excited. All right, next up in the news today, we've talked Matrix, we've talked Venom, we've talked Shang-Chi's box office. Let's talk about Fandome. They confirmed Fandome is going to be October 16th, 2021. We are only about a month and a week away from Fandome. I loved the first Fandome event. Also, if you're a fan of my coverage, keep an eye out on my Fandome stuff. I got some ideas, can't reveal them yet. but going to be doing a lot of stuff for Fandom. It is officially happening on the 16th. I think it's going to be a fun weekend of insane announcements. The stuff they're revealing, this isn't even all of it, just the stuff I highlighted are. They're showcasing 6 highly anticipated titles, theatrical titles, including a new trailer for The Batman, new content for DC League of Super Pets, which is Kevin Hart and The Rock as Super Pets, which, come on. We've got our first look at Black Adam. We've got a sneak peek at The Flash, behind-the-scenes looks at Aquaman and Shazam. 6 giant properties coming out of DC. I'm excited for all of them, and all that's going to be beautifully encapsulated in Fandom. And I don't know about you guys, but out of all of the digital presentations last year, I feel like DC Fandom was the king. It triumphed. I'm so excited to see what they do with the sequel. Live, learn, grow, improve. I can't wait for Fandom 2. I think it's going to blow everything else out of the water. On the TV side, we've got a new look at Batwoman, new look at The Flash, new look at Superman and Lois, a new look at Sweet Tooth, which I am about to watch. I've yet to watch Sweet Tooth, but I'm about to dive into it. Also, a farewell tribute to Supergirl, a look at a 100-episode anniversary of, I can't believe Legends of Tomorrow's at 100, but 100 episodes of Legends of Tomorrow. And then my most anticipated on the TV side, a sneak peek of Naomi. If you guys know me, if you're not new to the channel, Naomi is one of my favorite new titles. It's the Brian Michael Bendis book. It is genius in my opinion. It ties into the Superman mythology without being a Superman book in a very inventive way. The art is stunning. She's a fantastic new character. It's a brand new book. You can only pick up 6 issues if you want. You'll understand the character's arc. Check out Naomi 1 through 6. The show's coming this upcoming year. I could not be more excited. Ava DuVernay, and we've also got DC Stargirl, which season 1 was bitchin'. And then on the game side, we've got first looks at Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and Gotham Knights. Actually, I guess they're not first looks. They're next looks of Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad. And then finally, over at HBO Max, we've got looks at Peacemaker and DMZ. Now, Peacemaker is obviously spinning off of the Suicide Squad. It is directed, written, run by the great James Gunn, and then DMZ is going to be just insane, and I can't believe it actually exists. So those are things that are coming this Fandom. And that's not everything. That's just a taste. I see people in the chat saying Doom Patrol. I assume Doom Patrol is going to be there. I just don't watch it because there's too many shows, so I wrote down the things that I'm like, holy fuck about. Those are just some highlights. But speaking of Fandom, leading up to Fandom, every single Friday, Jim Lee announced there's going to be Fandom Fridays where they reveal little bit tastes leading up to all that insanity, which I'm fucking stoked about. I think it's really smart to make Fridays an event. I think it's really smart to spread the wealth of this much content throughout the year. I wish more companies would do that. I think keeping the hype up is really important. I would love to do that with these companies. I've got some ideas. That's the goal. Hence me keeping plugging, growing this channel, because that is the goal long term. That being said, Fandom Fridays, I'm going to be tuning in. I want to support it so they make more stuff like it. And they've started to release some stuff like that new Aquaman 2 suit, as well as that first look at Patrick Wilson shredded, looking like a very different Orm. So excited for Aquaman 2 and everything they're putting out right now. Over in the world of not comic book movies, we did about a week ago, but I didn't do the show because my phone had died, did get a push for Top Gun 2, Mission Impossible 7, and Jackass 4. I said on Coycast 2 weeks ago when I had Straw Hat Goofy on, Straw Hat Goofy's episode was our non-spoiler Shang-Chi preview review from 2 weeks ago. It was very hard to tease that because we saw it wicked early. If you want my non-spoiler review for Shang-Chi, check out my Coycast. Anywhere you cast your pods, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get podcasts, check out 2 weeks ago, full non-spoiler review with Straw Hat Goofy. But in that episode 2 weeks ago, I said that if tracking for Shang-Chi is under $100 million, I bet studios are going to start pushing stuff. At 9:02 on the day they pushed this, they announced it was tracking at 50 million. Obviously, it nearly doubled that at the incredible 94.6, but it was tracking at 50. And then Paramount pushed 3 other movies at 9:17. It was less than 20 minutes later they started moving stuff. So all these studios are watching Marvel, are watching these big studios and kind of moving around the chessboard. We have moved many giant films again. So Top Gun 2, Mission Impossible 7, and Jackass 4 are all 2022 now. That year is going to be so stacked. There's like 46 giant movies in 2022 alone. Keep your eyes peeled for more shifts. I do think this fall and winter is going to be interesting to see what moves, what doesn't. Those 3 have moved. I don't know if that's the last of moves or the first of this next wave of moves. Time will tell. Box office figures will adjust. We will see. Scott Welsh in the super chat Yesterday, I went to the theaters for the first time since the start of the pandemic. It was so nice to be back there, and I really enjoyed Shang-Chi. Also, I just flew through Harley Quinn animated series, Bane is Life. One, I agree. Two, I love that Harley Quinn was something I discovered about a year late, and it was just as good as everyone said. Rarely do things live up to that level of hype. And three, caffeine is my reckoning. It's my birthday next week. I've already shamelessly plugged twice, but I'm making a public Amazon wish list, and on it is the mug. There's a mug that says caffeine is my reckoning, and I loved it so much I put it on my wish list because I want it for myself very badly. That show is exceptional. I'm so glad you got back to the movies safely. I'm so glad you enjoyed Shang-Chi, and thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate you very much, Scott Welsh. So glad you dug it and that you enjoyed the glory that is Harley Quinn. All right, Phoebe Waller-Bridge has unfortunately left Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Mr. and Mrs. Smith was one of my most anticipated shows. It was a collaboration between Donald Glover and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Donald Glover, I think, is our generation's Mozart, our generation's Beethoven, our generation's great mind. He can do stand-up, he can write, he can act, he can make incredible music. He is everything. I just scratched my face really badly. Ignore that. I honestly think Donald Glover is that force for our generation. Anything he does, I'm invested in. So after Atlanta wraps, he's doing a Mr. and Mrs. Smith adaptation because he's got a first look deal with Amazon. This was going to be with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who's also her own force of nature with Fleabag. I was super excited. They're apparently still friends. Everything's still cool. They just had a different creative vision for the show. She has left. The show is moving forward, but that does cause a certain stumbling block. I know a lot of people are excited for her. I was excited for her, but it is still a Donald Glover, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, so I'm very invested. We will see how it goes. Over in the world of, I can't believe it's been 30 years, 1991 was 30 years ago. How? I don't know. It is very clear math, but I don't accept it. 91 was 30 years ago. So for the 30th year anniversary, they just announced The Rocketeer is getting a sequel with David Oyelowo as the Rocketeer. He is awesome. I'm so excited. The only bit of this news I don't like is the fact that the Rocketeer is 30 years old, which is very crushing, very intense, but David Oyelowo playing him, very exciting. We will see how that goes. That's all the news about it so far. But in other casting news, Bridget Regan is officially Poison Ivy in the Batwoman show. Batwoman show on CW, casting up season 3. And Batgirl, the HBO Max movie, has just wrapped its script. So they just finished the script for Batgirl, HBO Max. They just cast Poison Ivy, Batwoman CW, and Clerks 3 and Umbrella Academy season 3 have wrapped. So as much of things have kind of stalled with the pandemic causing some rifts in timing and scheduling, we are now having things wrap and things moving and grooving. So it's really exciting to see these things wrap, including Clerks 3, Umbrella Academy Season 3, and Batgirl getting fast-tracked to HBO Max. Candyman is probably one of my favorite movies this year. No, it's not probably. Candyman is my favorite movie of the genre I've seen in a long time, and it makes my top 5 of the year. Nia DaCosta is doing the next Captain Marvel movie. Now, the first Captain Marvel movie was not my cup of tea. I think it's in the lower spectrum of the Marvel Universe, but now I like Brie Larson. I like the character. The movie just didn't work for me. But now with the combination of how much I loved Candyman and it being a Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel collaboration, also with Photon, yes. Tiana Paris, who is Photon, is also in Candyman and is an exceptional, exceptional part of the film. So I saw it because I wanted to support Yahya. Big fan of Yahya Abdul-Mateen II's work. Did not know Nia DaCosta's work. And now that I do, this movie, Captain Marvel 2, The Marvels, has leapt up in my Marvel expectations category. It is now one of my most anticipated Marvel properties. So excited for it, and that's largely because of how much I loved Candyman. I'm not a horror movie guy, but this one got me. It is somehow the first #1 film in the history of cinema from a black director, a black female director. That is fucking insane. I couldn't believe that statistic. I thought that was some caveat. That is just true. The first black female director with the #1 film is Candyman this weekend. We got to work on that, but keep supporting it. Go see Candyman. I was super impressed, super surprised, loved it very much, and I'm not a horror guy. It was so well directed. The cinematography is absolutely stunning. It updated I don't want to give anything away. It updated the mythology, and it allowed itself to be its own story while still loving on the original story. And it's a really important story while not feeling like it's pandering in so many ways. Go see Candyman. Couldn't recommend it more. And if you're still on the fence, even though I'm not a horror guy and I gave it an A-, and it's one of my 5 favorites of the year, this is a quote from Nia DaCosta about when she pitched Marvels 2, saying, I just nerded out. I was like, here are the movies I think I should do. Galactus, Storm, and Scott Scummer's team-up movie, blah, blah, blah. She just endured me going into a super deep and also gave me a lot of confidence that I would have the creative latitude to not just basically be a puppet on a string. She pitched a Storm, Scott Summers, Galactus movie. This woman is a deep-cut nerd. She knows the niche stuff, and man, am I in for this. Now that I know she can direct the hell out of Candyman, now that I know she's a nerd, like I said, Marvel's could not be more excited. I also love that we might be able to get an X-Men movie out of her. I'm hoping this all pushes forward. We're long overdue for a solo Storm movie, and if she cares about Scott enough that she wants Scott to be a lead, that's a good sign because Scott should be a lead. So give me a solo Scott movie, give me a solo Storm movie, make the X-Men individual movies, and then put them as a team like you did with the Avengers. Make the next big team in Phase 5, the X-Men. Give me a series of shows, X-Force, X-Factor, the OG X-Men. Give me all of that, but let Nia DaCosta have one because I was so impressed with Candyman. Please do go see it. All right, I got a chat from, I believe it's Curtis Mason. Thought I saw Curtis Mason's name pop up. The great Curtis Mason. What up, man? Shang-Chi is so dope. I loved his undercover name. It makes it so much easier to pronounce his name now. I'm so excited for all the Marvel to come. I completely agree, dude. I've been saying Shang-Chi my entire life because it looks like Shang to American tongues. The fact that there was an entire scene about pronouncing it correctly is exactly what we need to be spoon-fed as people that aren't aware of culture, like of that culture. So Shang-Chi, because of the undercover name, I now will never forget that. And it's a beautiful thing that I've got that piece of it and I'm pronouncing it correctly for the first time. Could not agree with you more. Curtis, also, thank you for everything. Curtis is our patron saint of unboxings. He's the reason a lot of these disc plates can exist, and big fan of the dude, and I appreciate his super chat here. And I'm so glad you enjoyed Shang-Chi as much as I did, especially that one very formative scene. All right, we're almost done with the news. I want to keep this show under an hour because I want the new subscribers to not be intimidated by too long of a live stream. We're at 41 minutes. I want to make sure I get through the rest of this. We got some more quotes. Again, thank you to Curtis Mason. Also, for the folks that have been here, for the OG Koi Ponders, this is a borrowed phone and headphones. My AC is on. I'm dying a little less. Is the sound and sight better on this phone versus my last phone? I imagine it is because it's a 12 versus a 10, but is it like a lot better? Because if it is, it'll be worth me getting the 13. Let me know in the chat if this is a market improvement of both sight and sound, because the AC is keeping me alive. And Spidey, he's very cozy next to the AC. We appreciate it. All right, more quotes coming at you. We also had a quote from Bassam Tariq this week. Bassam Tariq is the director of the Blade film. Mahershala Ali as Blade is going to be absolutely insane. I am so excited for that movie. He said a very interesting thing about Blade that I had not thought of in the context of the films. He said, quote, "What's so great is it's not as boxed in as I think people imagine it to be," which I thought it was, but it's quite exciting. I think the reality is there is no Blade canon. If you ever read the comics, they're always changing. Oh, it's this story, what's the canon? It's not like Peter Parker. His name's Peter Parker. In some comics, his name's Fred H. Blade, instead of Eric Brooks. So it's an interesting thing. Unfortunately, the runs never lasted that long, and there have been some interesting and exciting waves, but I can say it's character first. So between this quote and Nia DaCosta's, that's two very, very open-ended. Marvel's letting these creators make their things. It's making them get to make the creative choices they want, and these are two characters that people are very excited about very specifically. So I hadn't thought of that with Blade. He does have very short runs and no specific canon. He does have all those things. I think this is fantastic news for people that think that Marvel runs everything and directors don't get to shape their narrative. This is really exciting. Also, can't wait for this movie. And then the last quote, also in the vein of all the creative freedom they're giving these Marvel creators, this is from Ethan Hawke, who is not typically a blockbuster man. He's not typically of that world. Talking about Moon Knight, again, so fucking excited, saying, quote, "If you were an actor in the 50s, they made Westerns. If you were an actor in the 2020s, you've got Marvel. I'm really fortunate because we're dealing with a story that doesn't have a lot of ancillary baggage. If you play Spider-Man or Batman, you've got so much baggage and the audience have such expectations. It's like playing Hamlet. You can't play it in a vacuum. You're playing it in relationship to the other Hamlets. Whereas with Moon Knight, people don't know much about it. It doesn't have a lot of baggage. Oscar is giving an absolutely phenomenal performance, and it feels exciting to be a part of it with him. Yes, this is exactly what I want to hear, and that's a really good point. I love the comparison to Westerns. People have made it before, but to hear it from Ethan Hawke, yes. And also, it is a character that a lot of people aren't going to know. It is something you can make more chances with. So, we've got Nia DaCosta being a comic book junkie, making a Marvels 2. We've got Tarim making all sorts of Blade points I hadn't even thought of, and Moon Knight, Ethan Hawke, praising Oscar Isaac and talking about the freedom of it. This is all so exciting. We're getting our Marvel Knights. We're getting our improved sequels. We're getting so much goodness. People that said that Marvel is over at Endgame are fucking wrong. Things are just getting more exciting, I think. I think we are, it's going to be a bummer to miss these characters. That's the point. We need to miss them because they mattered to us. Onward and upward into the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and these things all sound dope as fuck. In speed news, we've got The Accountant sequels moving forward. If you haven't seen The Accountant, Gavin O'Connor, genius film. Ben Affleck, it's kind of like Ben Affleck's Bourne movie. Love how they handled mental illness in the film. The supporting cast is incredible as well as the lead. Love The Accountant. A sequel is happening. I love the first one very much. It's probably one of my favorites in that genre, the thriller genre. Jabari Banks has been cast as Will in the Fresh Prince remake. 1, his last name is Banks. That's so perfect. 2, he's from West Philadelphia, born and raised. 3, watch the video of him finding out. I can give it away. Finding out from Will Smith that he got the part. He gets to find out from Will that he's playing Will. It is genius, and I'm very excited for it. Jabari Banks, so stoked for him. West Philly kid, last name Banks. Come on, it's so perfect. We've got a live-action Rick and Morty. Christopher Lloyd is playing... Christopher Lloyd and Jaden Martell, who you will probably know from It, playing a live-action Rick and Morty. I'm not even a Rick and Morty fan, and I'm very excited about this. Check out the footage. It is so funny, and I'm probably going to be a Rick and Morty fan by the end of this run. Jon Stewart is back on Apple Plus. He's got his own show again. It's called The Problem. I am a big Jon Stewart fan, and I think as much as I am part of the problem of this side versus this side, I try to understand the other side, I think, more than a lot of people do. I read books that are from a point of view that I don't agree with, so I can try to understand the other person's perspective. I try to watch the other's news just so I can grasp where they're coming from. And I think a big problem in society right now is the red versus blue. There's no purple. There's no middle ground. It's just fuck them. And I feel that way about assholes. I feel that way about people that are racist. I feel that way about any sort of bigotry. I feel that way about anyone that demeans an entire people for anything, whether it's because they're a woman, they have a different color skin, religion, any of that shit. Fuck that. But I think if you have a political perspective that isn't fueled by hate, you shouldn't automatically be hated. So I think what the show is going to be is looking at how partisan we've become and how frustrating that is and how we won't be able to heal if we keep saying fuck the other side. I say fuck bigots, fuck assholes, fuck the ignorant. I don't say fuck everyone that sees things differently as I do, unless it's hateful. So, I'm definitely not going to let people walk all over people, but I'm not going to assume someone's a monster just because they vote differently than I do. And I think that's what the show is going to be about. So I'm really, really curious what he does coming back to Apple. I really am curious what he does with that kind of freedom. I'm excited for The Problem. It is out on September 30th. People are already up in arms because his last movie talked about bipartisanship. His last movie talked about how we are our own worst enemy. I'm curious how he does this in a weekly show. The Problem, Apple, September 30th. Finally, Jake Gyllenhaal's got a new movie on Netflix on October 1st. It's going to be in theaters the week before. It is called The Guilty. The trailer is so intense. Check out The Guilty. And Cobra Kai was renewed for Season 5, leading up to its Season 4 premiere. Going to be doing some coverage for that. I think I did some 1 through 3 coverage for that. Season 5, very excited about it. Big fan of that show. And there is a brand new James Bond trailer, and it's awesome. I don't have anything to say other than it's awesome. It's about 2 weeks old now, but I haven't had a show to talk about it on. I can just say that it's awesome. That is your news in 48 minutes. You lovely bunch of lovelies. It was so good to be back. I'm going to talk about curls and schmoes in a second, but I do want to say I am going to be at New York Comic Con. New York Comic Con is October 7th through 10th. I'm going to be there both doing work for New York Comic Con, but also for the Schmodown. There's a live event on Saturday in Brooklyn at the Schmodown. There are still some tickets on sale. I know they're selling fast. If you want to see a Schmodown live, if you want to meet me, you want to be in Brooklyn, check out the schmodownlive.com. There is a live event I am partaking in. My boy Josh Horowitz is going up against Griffey Newman, and it's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be just insane. Do be there if you're on the East Coast. I will be there. I would love to meet you guys. And then if you're at New York Comic Con, hunt me down. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet because I know a lot of the things are shifting on the schedule, but I will be there October 7th through 10th. And I can't not talk about, in speaking of New York, we lost an incredible actor yesterday, the inimitable Michael K. Williams. There is no one quite like his presence in a movie or show. He shows up, you know exactly the expectations. Like, you know exactly, you feel that rush of like, whoa, I'm about to have a time. Whether it's something fun in Community or it's The Wire, the dude is such a force. And he played characters that a lot of people wouldn't play, and he gave so much depth to characters that a lot of people would play surface. And he invested so much in the humanity of those characters, and that's what you keep hearing from these actors that knew him and worked with him. I never got to meet him. I didn't know him at all. I just really loved his work. And I think the stigma against mental health, and I think the stigma against drugs is much more devastating than we give credit to. There's a lot of problems in the world. We can't focus on all of them, but we can't ignore them either. So I think it is really tricky to just say drugs are bad and then villainize people. And I think it's really tricky to say that mental health is worth any less than physical health. If your arm is cut off and you're bleeding out, someone's not going to say, like, figure it out. And if you have a debilitating mental illness, people tend to do that because you can't see it and they think that makes it less relevant. The dude was so emotionally available, and I feel like that was part of what we lost, why we lost him. And I think we really need to address that in people. Just because someone seems happy doesn't mean they are. Just because someone seems like they got their shit together doesn't mean they do. Check in on your people. And don't be ignorant when it comes to their problems. Don't assume everybody has their shit together. I like drinking quite a bit, and I worry about it sometimes. I definitely am not as happy as I seem. I present this because the world's dark enough. You guys don't need another bit of darkness, and I like being a force of positivity, but sometimes I can't do the show as positive as I want to present that, and sometimes I got to be honest that I have to add a little positivity to my own mental. But I'm not just a beacon of positivity all the time. I can't be. But I know it helps people, so I like being that for people. So it's not fake, it's just, it's augmented. And I really think it's important to acknowledge that there are dark days and that you're not alone. So I love you guys. Reach out to your friends and family. Give a lot more people hugs once it's safe to. And take care of your mental, because it's just important as your physical. And much love to Michael K. Williams and all the work he gave us, and so much love to his family. And I appreciate the fuck out of each and every one of you watching. I'm going to get to that next super chat right now. And then we're going to talk about curls, and then we're going to wrap out this show. And I do want to thank all of the folks that have joined the Koi Pond. You guys are fucking awesome. We got one from Alma Poe. Alma Poe says, love your work, Koi. You got me at being long overdue for a solo Storm movie. If I get that from Nia DaCosta as a black female nerd, I think I might cry. A solo Storm movie makes so much fucking sense. One, she's got the most cinematic powers. Two, she's got such a fleshed out origin and backstory. Three, she's a fucking goddess. Four, we need those characters to be a part of the conversation without feeling like they're not getting to be fully themselves. She's an African goddess. What more important character we need on the screen right now as a leader, as someone that's flawed but powerful, as cinematic powers? It's all right there. Cast well and make a solo movie. Make a fucking Roland Emmerich disaster film with the heart of a goddess with claustrophobia, with a woman that cares about everything that comes from the streets, with someone that came from nothing to everything that feels like nothing at times. Give me a solo Storm movie yesterday. Cast it appropriately, cast it well, and it will make so many dollars, and you can give it the budget it deserves, and then launch a fucking franchise off of that. I think you do 6 or 7 films that are in a new way solo films that don't feel like either team films or solo films. They're like 2 acts of solo, and then the third act you meet another couple characters. And then you build this new web of Avengers in a slightly different way. I would honestly say 2/3 solo, 1/3 team dynamic. Like maybe the first 2 acts, they're on their own, we learn their story, and then they go to Xavier's, and it's not quite a team yet, and then we get a team movie after that. The X-Men, I think we need a lot of backstory first. I want 10 hours of fucking content pre the X-Men movie, or give me a bunch of shows. Either way, Storm should be the forefront of one of those. I also think Cyclops needs some love because he's never been treated well. He's been cast well, but not treated well. I think Wolverine shouldn't come until year 2 or 3. What I would do is you have Wolverine already have a show set in the past. The actor will only age 2 or 3 years in the time it takes to get to that point, but he could age 100 years on the show. Give me a decade by decade show, maybe 3 seasons leading up to the movie. Start it in the fucking past, and by the time he gets to the present, then he joins the X-Men. You have your cake and eat it too. That way you've met Wolverine like everyone wants, but then he's not part of the X-Men to make it fucking Wolverine the X-Men like it always is until later. There's ways to do this, but it starts with Storm. So yes, thank you, Alma, and that is the goal. That's what I want, but we'll see if it happens. I think, you lovelies, that is going to be it. We did it under an hour. Those are all of the super chats. That is all of the goodness. If you guys want to know what streaming recommendations I have, check out my TikTok. If you guys want to know what comic book recommendations I have, check out Coycast tomorrow. If you guys want to tweet me, Instagram me, TikTok me, do that. But also, please, 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 comment on this, like this, do all the things that boost the algorithm. I want to grow this channel at least to 10K, but a lot bigger. And I want to start going to junkets and carpets and events and getting guests on this very show off of those numbers. I can do that with your guys' help. I was so focused on finding another network to work on. To be honest, the last 2 years I've been like applying at other networks and trying to be a part of a bigger thing instead of becoming my own thing, instead of self-actualizing this channel. I didn't work in this channel nearly enough, and that's on me. And I'm fixing that right now. So this is me saying, please let people know I'm here. So many people were surprised I still existed when they saw me in The Real Rejects. So many people have been like, oh my god, it's Coy, when I pop up on Straw Hat Goofy's TikTok. People forgot like where I was post Collider, post Screen Junkies. I've been here, and I'm gonna work on that and make it my own. I'm gonna self-actualize. I'm gonna be my own boss. I'm gonna Gary V this shit, and that starts with you guys, and that starts right now. So consider this. My 33rd birthday is next Wednesday. Consider 33 me trying to build my own empire, and consider this the beginning. This is the warm-up to next week. And I love you all. I appreciate the fuck out of each and every one of you, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here. To the OGs, to the people in the chat whose names I recognize from 2 years ago, to the people that just joined, to the Real Rejects, to the patrons, to Michael McCarsell, to John Getz, to AJ Lancaster, to Remy's Art, to Curtis Mason, everyone, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you in, if you want, in half an hour. We're gonna watch Thor Ragnarok. I'm just gonna stop using this mouth for a minute to fucking just stop, because I'll talk straight through, and then I'll be tired. I'm a fucking go. Okay, much love. I'll just tell you guys I love you forever, and then I won't fucking leave. I'll see you at 7 o'clock, Thor Ragnarok. I'm gonna get some coffee. Much love, gang. Bye, guys. See you next week. See you Thor Ragnarok. Coycast tomorrow. Lots of reviews coming. My Hero Academia Season 3, Part 3 is coming next week. Ted Lasso, Season 2, Part 2 coming this Friday. Lots of reviews right here in this channel, and daily 1-minute videos 5 days a week.